finish up our other method of user controller. So here we have an endpoint where we can get user ID. I mean, for single user details. Let's say if we pass some user ID and I just want to get some details about one user, then we will need to use this. So before I proceed, I just want to modify my method name a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just write find users, and this one as find user. Okay, and I will modify the controller as well, and this is find user. Okay, now here in the find user, what I need to pass, here I need to pass user ID, right? And this find user should accept the user ID as well, so it would be a number. And now I can remove this statement, return statement. Instead, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write this dot user repository dot find one. Okay, and here we'll have a condition where user here ID is equal to user ID, right? Now I can return this from here. I'll get a user. Alright, I'm waiting for it to restart. Yeah, now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try it for user ID 1 and let's see if this gives us something ish. Okay, we are getting the result, but we are also getting password. If I see the existing get users as well, we were getting password, but we don't want to get it here, right? So let's fix this first. And here what I want is I want to just do, it would be a promise in return, and it would be user response. What was the DTO name? Response user DTO, and let's keep it in one variable, const user equal to await. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to return plain to instance response user DTO and here user. Alright, now similarly what I can do here, since this will be an array users, so I may have to use loop. Let's try it without loop and see if that works. Plain to instance, first I will define the return type here, promise, and response user DTO, and this will be an array. Okay, and what I want here is, let's try it without loop. If that doesn't work, then we can use what we can say, loop. So it is not accepting an array. And if I just remove this bracket, since here it needs just type, so can I write it this way, array, and this thing, probably it will not accept it. User response DTO is not assignable to, okay, I think it is automatically detecting that this is an array. Okay, let's try it and see if this works. Alright, this is working, so we don't need to loop over it, and it can automatically detect the type. So it can automatically go inside and see if this is an array, that it works for the array as well. And if I try to test get user, then here as well we are not getting password. So this is fixed for us, right? And I think we have finished doing these 3 endpoints, and let's do one more thing. Let's create the remove as well, async remove user, although we will not be using it probably. And user ID, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create it delete, and here in delete I will need user ID parameter, and I'll have to use valid pipe so that I can make sure this, we are not trying to enter anything else. We are trying to pass valid, what we can say, valid ID. So I just noticed I haven't created functionality for update as well. So let's do it both together. Let me first define the remove user, and then I will try to finish up the update and remove both. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just mention this, and then return this dot user service dot remove user, and here I will pass user ID. Okay, I'll define this in user service, then it will go away. Before that, I also wanna pass user ID here, and I will rename this method as update user. Alright, now let's go back in user service and define two methods here. First one is for update async update user, and one for async remove user. Okay, this both of this will accept one user ID as parameter, and now we are going to return response as not from the remove user. Since we have already removed user, we don't need to return the response user D2. In that case, we'll just let user know that the user is successfully deleted. Alright, and so what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna just do one thing. So in case of update user, I also need update user DTO, and this will be update user DTO, and I need to also pass this parameter from here as well. So I'll have to take it from the body, update user DTO. It should be update user DTO. Let's import body, and now I'm gonna pass this as second parameter. Okay, if I go back in update user, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna first try to find whether this user exists or not. So const existing user. So now this logic is we have used this similar kind of logic here, but I'm also going to create one more method to find the user by ID. So let's copy this, find the user by ID, and here I'm just going to define ID. It will be number, and here it is going to be ID. Now I can just use this method await get this dot get user by ID, and here we can pass user ID. Okay, I also noticed we could have used this method internally here, right? Instead of calling find one, we could have used this method directly. but since we needed to format it as well, so let's let it be separate, since in some of the methods, if we needed to use it, we needed to get all the properties including password, we can use these two methods. Okay, so what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna check if existing user is there. If not, then this is going to throw one bad request here. So user does not exist. Okay, user doesn't exist for the given ID, for the given ID. And here I'm just let's do backtick. Okay, let's do backtick, and here what I can put, I can just add user ID. Alright, now if user exists, then what we can do, we can try to use object.assign. Here we can use existing user, and we can pass update user DTO, and then we can use the same method which we used to create a new user, save. Here we can use existing user, and now we can save it in one variable, saved user. Now we can use await here, and then we will be using the same thing here, this line of code. So if you see, this two method is almost same, but here we were trying to save password as well, but now we are not saving password, since we are not accepting password from user. Although in case if user changes password, then we can take care of one more thing. We don't want user to update password directly during update of user. In that case, what we are going to do, we are going to remove a password from update user DTO. Okay, so we will not allow it. We'll add that condition later on. For now, just let it store this. And let's say if user stores, user is also passing some password, so we will again have to call this to method. So I'm just going to copy and paste it here again. Okay, so let's say if update user d2 has password, then what I'm gonna do, I'm going to hash this password. I will use update user d2 dot password and updated user. I probably will not need it. Let's do this way. Let hashed password empty string, and I'm just going to set it here, and then this hash password, I will password dot hash password, I will assign it this way. Okay, then now we can save all the properties from here, then save this property here. Okay, fine. In case we are passing new password, then we can again hash it and then save it in the existing user, and then we are using the existing user to save it in the database, and then we have created saved user variable, and we are trying to remove exclude password property as we have defined in the what we can say in DTO. Let's try to update it quickly, and then let's do in the next video. We'll test it, and then we will also work on the remove user.